Hi there, and welcome to the Rosati's family. No, I'm not Mrs. Rosati. My name is Jess Olivito, and Gino and we own Olivito Management Group, or for short, OMG Pizza. We are essentially the franchisees or the owners of this location. And we're glad that you made the decision to join us to work at the Rosati's Pizza Pub in Ottawa. I'm going to be looking at some notes. They are just the outline for our employee orientation, and this video is no replacement for human interaction. We believe in a lot of that. However, in an effort to make sure that you just hear a very consistent message, we put them on video and are going to probably quiz you at the end. Make sure you paid attention a little bit, all right? So I'm going to look down now, and thank you, and bear with me as I go through the notes. Rosati's is a brand. So Rosati's, we're not our own thing. We are a franchise, and it really started with four brothers in 1964. But over time, families split, and so did the brand. So there's literally two sides of the family and two brands and two logos. Take a look at the logo that we have and make sure you're familiar that we are actually at myrosatis.com/Ottawa. That is our website, myrosatis.com versus rosatis.com. And sometimes guests are confused, or they'll go to rosatis.com. The menus are almost identical, but pricing and franchisors and just the corporate structure is a little bit different. So I just wanted to point that out, okay? All right, moving on. You're able to order online, as we just discussed, but you're also able to dine in. We are considered a pub. There's probably about 200 Rosatis across the country. I'd say there's probably less than 30 pubs, to give you an idea. But we have our flagship store in terms of the size and the setup, and we're proud. We also offer delivery and carry out, and we're really considered as a franchise a Chicago Italian style pizzeria and restaurant. We actually serve 5 different types of pizza, and that would be our thin crust, which we're primarily known for, but we also have double dough, which is a rolled edge. We also have gluten-free for people with sensitivities. Our deep dish, the Chicago style deep dish, is popular, as well as our stuffed pizza. We also serve appetizers, salads, pasta, desserts, sandwiches, even catering in addition to pizza. So make sure you familiarize yourself with our menu. The dine-in menu is very similar to the takeout menu. The catering is also on the takeout menu, as well as our stipulations, how far we go in terms of delivery zone, the fees, gratuity, credit card processing fees, all that fine print right here. So you really want to make sure that you grab yourself a menu and are starting to look through it. Know and familiarize yourselves with Rosati's as a brand. Thank you. All right, core values. Here we go, right? So this is about the time that people think, well, I'm just going to tune out for a little bit, but this is actually probably the most important part of the video. Our core values, if you haven't figured it out from the interview process, are really centered around family. So it's employees as family and guests as family. Everybody's family, okay, at Rosati's. So we make guests a priority. We want you to enjoy your job, but we also want you to understand that we're number one. Yep, that's why we think about ourselves. We're number one. Other people are competing with us. It's a mindset. So how does that happen? It's through core values, in number one being passionate. So as you can see, here I am, Mama Jess, I'm very passionate. So being authentic to hospitality, okay? That is having a sense of urgency in serving our guests. It's also, in addition to passion, excellence. Excellence is the point number 2. And that's where we are striving to continually improve. We have to do things better and better. We're not satisfied with this is the way we've always done it. And we're just looking to make our people better, our products better, and to serve and service people better, okay? The third value is trust. We want to nurture a culture of integrity, of honesty, of open communication, and being able to also take ownership when we make a mistake. We are here to enhance that guest experience, and we want guests to trust us with their food, their catering, their pizza. You know, I've had people walk up to me in the dining room and they're like, hey, that guy over there, is that the guy you were telling us about? Oh yeah, him, the Pizza King, Gino? Yeah. That's the guy who's making our pizza? Yeah, I trust that guy with my pizza. And it's kind of funny, but truthfully, that's what we want. That's how we want people to feel. Oh yeah, I'm here, he's making my pizza. Now our whole team can make pizza the way the Pizza King and our guidelines and recipe books show us, right? But over there's a perception that I trust them with my food. I trust them with this experience. I know what I'm gonna get, and I crave it, and I want it weekly. All right. And then the last one, and probably the most important one, that is going to be teamwork. So that is where we are collaborating together. Can't do it ourselves. There's no I in team. You've heard that, right? Well, it's collaborating to achieve the goals that we set out. We have sales goals, labor goals, goals to, just exceed guest expectations, sign up more customers for rewards. And then we celebrate those successes together through incentives. So we all need to work together, and we need all of you. We can't do this by ourselves. So we appreciate you, and we welcome your ideas and feedback. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming alongside us as a team. So passion, excellence, trust, and teamwork. So we're here to exceed expectations, and okay, let's get to it. Sometimes we receive complaints, right? No one's perfect. Things happen. So when that happens, what do? Well, the short answer is we elevate to a manager. Just get a manager. Let someone else be responsible for hearing that guest again, letting that guest know that they are valuable enough that you thought to go up the food chain, so to speak. So let's make sure we are elevating. Whenever you don't know the answer, you don't know what to do, get a manager. Get someone else involved that can help that guest. Just a little bit more about myself and Gino. We have strong experience in restaurants, and especially pizza, with the major Chicago pizza brands. We came to Ottawa in 2019 to take over and run the Ottawa pub, and it's been quite the experience through the pandemic. And because of that, we have to realize that this is really a changing industry, yet a consistent industry. So people still want pizza. They want it a lot, probably even almost once a week. But it's a changing industry. Now there's third-party services. More people actually eat carry out than dine in these days. And we have to adapt to a changing economy, even though we have a big restaurant. So the requirement is really to be cross-trained in a few different areas, and that makes you more valuable to the restaurant and helps you make more money and get more hours, okay? With that being said, we just want to let you know that we do have quite a bit of experience. Gino's been in pizza since he could walk and talk, and we are here, though, to learn and adapt to a changing economy. In terms of the next thing, it would be a restaurant tour. And we would like to make sure that every employee gets a restaurant tour. We have a little handout. It's our little aid. Talks about the basics. Just if you could make sure that you get a tour, I'd be happy to give one to you, or ask the manager on duty who's showing you this video to go ahead and give you a tour of the whole thing. And then we'll go ahead and quiz you a little bit and see if you know where some things are at. The next fun item of business is employee orientation / paperwork. So you got a packet. That top page is kind of like a welcome letter and a list of things to do, and it's overwhelming and there's all this stuff, and I'm sorry. But walk yourself through it, chip off at the list, you'll get it all done, and then you'll be part of the family. All right, so in there, there's a list of things to complete, and then there's that acknowledgement form that you sign, and that is for the employee handbook. obviously should have also the handbook. We're going to be going through that. And in addition, you're going to need 2 pieces of documentation. A social security card and a driver's license or ID card are the 2 ideal. But if not, there's a sheet actually on that I-9 form that's in there that will walk you through a list of other things that you can submit, from passport to military ID to school ID to whatever it happens to be, birth certificate. There's all kinds of things on the list. Take a look. But you're going to have to fill out the top portion of that form, and the rest of it will complete as an employer. There's also going to be a couple of income tax forms. They're called W-4s. One is the federal, one is the state. So for the federal form, well, there's 2 forms, federal, state. For the federal form, you're going to be filling out the top portion of the form, and for the state form, you're going to be filling out the bottom portion. Both include worksheets just to help you. We don't need the worksheets back. You can remove the worksheets. But again, the federal, fill out the top, the state, fill out the bottom. If you're not sure what to claim, I am not a tax advisor, but single zero is having the most taxes taken out of your check. If you have dependents, you know your situation, or you want less taxes, you can claim more dependents, or if you're married, you could make that election as well, okay? We also offer direct deposit here in terms of getting paid, and there is a direct deposit form. Please write legibly on the form, attach the check or a printout from your bank so that it lines up, and we will get that processed. In terms of pay, you are paid every Friday. If you signed up for direct deposit, you'll get paid at midnight, Thursday night, Friday morning, so that's always neat. The pay period is actually Monday through Sunday, and then that would be for the following week. So it's a lag of 1 week from Monday through Sunday. In terms of the other thing about your paycheck, that would be Illinois Secure Choice. If you are over 18 years old, you will automatically enroll in a state entire retirement program. The state would handle the money. We just take the money out of your check. But if you do nothing at all, you're auto-enrolled if you're over 18. A packet will come in the mail to tell you more about it and how to manage your contribution. They take 5% out if you do nothing. So if you want to elect out, you don't want them taking any money out of your paycheck, no problem. You just, when you get that packet in the mail, you can go online and get yourself out, or you can call on the phone at an 800 number. But after 30 days, they take the money out automatically. I don't have anything I can do about that. A lot of people really love that program for saving for retirement, and that's totally great. But some of you are not in that season of life, and I completely understand. But I just want to be upfront that you need to deal with that on your own if you would like to not be part of Illinois Secure Choice. Scheduling, we use an app. And you should get some training information about that and an email, text invite to it or be on it. There's a username and password that's unique to you. The things that you're going to use the app for are messaging. So it's a messaging work app. We communicate with each other through the app. I like to communicate with employees through the app. Our manager does as well. You can also swap shifts or put a shift up for grabs, so to speak. Now let's talk about that. That doesn't mean you get out of the shift. It means that you're offering it up. Someone has to accept it and a manager would have to approve it before you're released from the responsibility of that. But that is nice without having to come into the restaurant to see a physical schedule. We ask that if you're looking to need a day off, that you request that day if it's outside of your normal availability and you need off. Please request off at least 2 weeks in advance. In the event you are sick or absent or cannot make it to work for an emergency, try to give us 4 hours notice. If you cannot give 4 hours notice because it's just extenuating, we get it, but as soon as possible. And you need to call the restaurant. You cannot just text the manager or the owner if you happen to have our number or whatever to the restaurant, please. And you could need a doctor's note depending on what is going on, okay? See the general manager if there's a problem at all with your schedule, and we'll take care of it. In terms of other certificates and documents you're going to need, there are potentially 3 things depending on the role that you play. Every person that works here is going to need a food handler's license, and it's one of those things you're like, oh, but it is 4 hours. and it costs $15, and your certification is good for 3 years. You own it, it's yours, but we need a copy within 30 days of your employment. Drivers need it, cooks need it, phones, hybrid roles need it, servers need it, bartender needs it, managers need it. So who doesn't need it? Everybody needs it. Okay. If you need accommodation to take the test, if reading, because they teach you and then you take, but if that's a problem, you don't have a computer, if there's, you can do it on your smartphone, so don't use that as an excuse. But if you just don't have access to the tools to make it happen, you're missing a debit card or something, see the general manager for extra support and instructions. We'll help you get that done in the way that you need it done. We can make accommodations, but that doesn't mean you get out of it. It just means we have to work harder to get it done. Okay. Auto insurance, if you're a driver, I need a copy of your auto insurance. We carry also professional and general liability insurance. We have workers' comp, all that good stuff, but you have to have your own insurance and you have to be able to prove it. And then if you do anything with alcohol, if you are a driver taking packaged goods, a bartender, a manager, a server, you have to do the Bassett alcohol test. It is another 4 hours of your time. There's a charge. I think it's another $15. It's the same time commitment, 4 hours. So if you're in front of the house and you're in a bartending or serving role, you got about 8 hours of training to get done. I'm sorry. The links are in the handout. Get working on it. You're going to need it. Okay. Okay. Buckle up. Let's go through this employee handbook really fast. There is a beautiful table of contents right in the beginning. Go to that area, look up what you want, but ultimately you are responsible for knowing this information. Okay. And you signed off that you did. So the point out the biggies, that's what we're going to do. Okay. We can't miss the opportunity to make sure you know these things. Number one, this is a family environment, but in families, sometimes there's drama. So just like other families, and we want to be a healthy family, we're going to put up boundaries when there's drama. So we create no drama zones. Sometimes you'll even see us write it on the board or on the worksheet or on the front of the house seating chart, no drama. And people that create drama, they don't last at Ottawa Rosatis. If you have a problem or a concern, it happens. Yes, we're people, right? See a manager or one of us. Don't walk around the restaurant complaining to everyone but us. That's the worst. How can we help you if we don't even know what's going on? That does not work for our culture. If we nip that in the bud when it happens, and you're just going to be embarrassed. So we're approachable. We're here to serve. Come talk to us, okay? All right. So for the rest of this overview of the handbook, can we just huddle in together like a fireside chat? Wish I had the fireplace going. Mama Jess, Papa Gino, we're going to go through some important things, okay? We will be harsh right off the bat. We're not actually not trying to be harsh, but we are employment at will. What does that mean? That means we can fire you at any time for any reason. Yeah. So again, we're not saying that to be cold or threatening. So maybe you laughed a little bit to yourself, or maybe you're like, what? We're just trying to tell you that we want you to work here. We do. But this needs to be a place that is free from problems, from misconduct, from drama. And we want this to be a place that you tell others, yeah, you want to work there. There's great people that work there. So that's the culture, okay? And so we're just not going to put up with anything that messes up that culture. So we're not going to put up with sexual harassment. It is a big deal. People in this industry, they just think that they can get away with it. They think they can get away with saying inappropriate stuff or sexting or touching a coworker. No. We're not going to tolerate weird snaps. We're not going to deal with that. We're a family environment. Okay. We're kid friendly. And if anything is being said that makes you feel uncomfortable by anyone, please report it. Please. All right, the alcohol policy. We're a bar, there's booze. If you're punched in, you are not drinking. Does that make sense? You're not on my clock. I think that clears a lot of this up right there. You're not punched in, you're not on my clock. If you're on my clock, you are not drinking. Okay, the owners don't punch a clock. But what I'm trying to explain to you is there's no wiggle room around that. And you can be terminated if you break that part. Okay, so if you're off the clock, you're not wearing Rosati's clothes, and you're not drinking for free, And there's no discounts on alcohol. And this is not your friend's garage or party zone after your shift. I can't be clearer. So however, even with that uniform shirt off, okay, nobody's getting drunk in here. You are still a representation of the restaurant. So I guess I can't be any clearer, or we can't be any clearer, that after your shift, find another venue to unwind at or party, because it ain't here. All right, moving on from alcohol. Introductory period. Everybody goes through one. If you leave us in a matter of days, we could deduct money for uniforms. Uniforms, let's move through. Everybody needs to wear one. Please, especially for security drivers, the hat, a t-shirt, something, Rosati's, please, please, please. Peace of mind for my guests, okay? If we don't have your size, we'll order your size. So I want a shirt that says Rosati's or a hat, okay? And back at the house, we gotta make sure, especially hygiene, facial hair, that's all trimmed up, or beard net. There's no in between with that. Long hair is tied back up, okay? People, you guys come back out of the kitchen to help us to bring food out sometimes. Hygiene is important. Washing of the hands, hello, it's so critical that we are really thinking about these things, okay? In terms of in the front of the house, jeans, not leggings, no short shorts, Daisy Dukes, ripped up stuff, just normal jeans, please, okay? Okay, that's probably apron. We'll give you an apron if you're in the front and you're doing serving or bartending. Dating and family relationships. So that's happening. We have people that are married. We have brother, sister, mom, daughter, brother. We've had it all. We do have a boyfriend, girlfriend at time to here and there, but we need to address this professionally. We know that people meet each other in restaurants, okay? We know relationships form in restaurants, but we just expect professionalism. So don't be dating and hiding it. We don't put supervisory positions of people that are dating. And if your relationship between the two of you at work is taking away from our employees or our guests, you're just not a fit for our culture, and we're not going to deal with that. So just don't be afraid to be open and honest about what's going on, and we'll work together. But we just, you debate how to address it in this world we're in, but we do think that we need to address it, and just address that we have to be professional about it. All right, cell phones. Guests come first. I mean, we know we all need to check our phones, but let's be sensible. Let's be honorable. We're not paying you to watch movies or game. We'll hire somebody else who can understand that. So I'm just going to leave it super clear. I don't need to go on and on. All right. Meal breaks. Absolutely. How about before and after your shift? Before you punch in or after. Try not to eat between 5 and 7 during a rush of dinner. We give you free food for your first 3 training shifts. After that, it is 50% off while you're at work and 30% off if you're outside of work. You can't use other rewards, specials, coupons, offers than the discount. And then if you're calling in or doing delivery or calling in a takeout, please be the one that calls in. Don't have your mom, uncle, or neighbor or next door do it where you're going to be. All right, it needs to be you. All right, thank you. Also, when you're going to eat, don't eat in front of the guests. Eat in the kitchen. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. There's hand washing stations everywhere. Look out for them. And then smoking. Please, outside the back door, and then wash your hands. No smoking out front. That's for our guests. Vaping is not allowed in the dining room by guests or employees. Okay? Tips. If you are a server, bartender, or a driver, you must claim tips. All of your tips. Again, it only hurts you. If you need a wage verification, Social Security benefits, unemployment, whatever happens, claim your tips. Tip share is paid out to the phones or the hybrid position, we call it sometimes, in the front of the house on weekends, and that is based on our sales, your sales as a server or bartender. So servers and bartenders will pay out a tip share on the weekends only at 2%. Okay. And then just know some basic facts about the restaurant. It's important, I think, for your security and because you work here. So memorize our phone number, our website, our address, just the basics about what we're doing and how we're operating. So the phone number is 815-324-9559. Our online URL is myrosatis.com/Ottawa. Our address is 375 West Stevenson Road in Ottawa, across from Walmart. We are off exit 90. You might know that, off I-80. We have a bunch of hotels, know which ones we deliver to and which ones we don't, and we go 12 miles out. Look at the carryout card to see more specifics on that. And just read and study that menu. I can't, emphasize that enough. It really outlines what you need to be successful here, okay? Thank you for being part of this and completing the orientation with us. Please be sure to turn that paperwork in, and the code word for this video is monkey list. Keep that to yourself.